Bye, Dream!
Wait, what?
I'm sure you've all seen that insane clip from Dream's Manhunt series. People often use that clip to show that Dream, the manhunt expert, is good at the game because of the skill required to craft that boat in midair. With this court trial, I hope to show that this play is nothing more than a performance that Dream did not do in one take. We understand that this is a serious allegation, however, I believe that it is our obligation to release the evidence gathered by our investigation to the world. We, the prosecution, are charging Dream with faking a Minecraft stunt and then lying about it on the internet. While this isn't a crime anywhere in the world, yet, with this trial, we hope to present our analysis of the evidence already available and to reveal our new, never before seen proof to the world to show that Dream did not perform this clutch legitimately.
Would the defense like to respond?
Of course, Your Honor. My client has invoked the right to remain silent, because frankly, the sham trial is completely beneath them. I'll entertain what little evidence that this investigation has dragged up, however, time and time again, countless people have attempted to debunk Dream and his manhunts, and every single one has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they are faked. On behalf of my client, I hope for your sake that your investigation is as rigorous as you claim, as right now, all I see is a witch hunt disguised as a court trial.
Very well. The prosecution may proceed with their case.
With pleasure, Your Honor. To open, I would merely like to point out that even in the lead-up to the clutch, something is fishy. If I may, I would like to point the jury towards Exhibit A, the raw footage up to and including the clutch. When Dream crafts an iron chestplate in the tower, he does not get the suit-up advancement, despite this being his first time with iron armor. Secondly, when Dream hovers over the oak planks in his inventory, notice that the tooltip appears to be cut off at the end. These do not necessarily prove that the clutch is fake. However, they cast a shadow of doubt over the legitimacy of the affairs.
Objection, Your Honor. And one claim at a time, please. Your visual artifacts certainly look strange when placed under the microscope in this one specific instance. However, if one were to fake such a clutch, what would be gained from chopping a few pixels off at the end of a black box? You know what this looks like to me? Standard YouTube compression. It's seen in other parts of the video that my client would have no reason to fake. As for your other claim about the suit-up advancement, my client's manhunts are not run on a separate dedicated server, but on a world attached to the server Munchie MC. It is not implausible that manhunt worlds are run on some kind of Munchie MC testing server, where Dream was using iron armor for something else, and merely forgot to clear all advancements before the manhunt. If you look later on in the raw footage, the compass plugin breaks while in the nether, which makes it clear that things can go wrong, and that this isn't just a fresh world with a fresh plugin installed where everything works perfectly. Dream Server also has a special autosave mod, allowing for pauses for bathroom breaks, server crashes, or other such inconveniences. Also, Callahan is always watching in spectator mode, ready to remedy any issues on the fly. My client has admitted in a Reddit comment that items that were lost to glitches have been given back to hunters on occasion. This changes nothing about the manhunts other than making them run more smoothly and more robust in case things go wrong. Finally, let's not forget the point of this trial. We are here to discuss my client's mid-air boat clutch, not chase down vague conspiracy theories around the event.
Objection overruled. While the prosecution's claims are tangential to the argument, they are certainly relevant to the discussion.
Thank you, Your Honor. However, this next point strikes at the very heart of the matter. In the allegedly uncut, raw footage, there is clear as day a jump cut seconds before Dream's legendary play. We've all seen Dream's manhunt server lag on occasion. However, even when it does, Dream's recording stays smooth as butter, except for this one convenient time. But before we get stuck into the real evidence, can you guys just make sure you're subscribed? I won't lie to you and say that there's a YouTube glitch that unsubscribes you, but I spent ages researching and writing this video to get the truth out there, and if you subscribed, it would show that people still care about the truth in the YouTube trenches of over-edited brain rot and fake SMPs. Tell me, is it believable that just before Dream's most technically skilled clutch ever, he experiences client-side lag that can seamlessly hide a cut to a different take?
Your Honor, I will admit, if I wanted to hide a splice, this would be the perfect opportunity. However, in an act of transparency, my client gave us the seed and the Minecraft version of this manhunt, which allows someone to recreate the scene block for block. As it turns out, this isn't a poor attempt to splice two different takes together, but an actual bug. In vanilla Minecraft 1.16.5, I was able to recreate this exact lag in the exact same spot as my client. This is a bug with this version, where blocks being placed across chunk borders at high Y levels for the first time causes lag. So it does look odd, however, experiencing a bug is not enough proof of foul play, my friend.
It may be true that the lag is just a quirk of the game. However, Dream's reaction is the more interesting topic at hand. When your client analyzes the manhunt on stream, he conveniently skips over the recording lag, mashing the go forward 5 seconds button leading up to it. Dream has clearly noticed this glaring jump in his video, and is trying to hide it from his audience as he dissects his most technically difficult feat. Are these the actions of an innocent man?
Objection, Your Honor. The prosecution is trying to indict my client for pressing a key on his keyboard.
Overruled. The court will allow the point. Skipping ahead may not prove guilt, but it should be considered. Continue.
Attempting to skip over a poorly done splice may certainly be the actions of the guilty. However, this could just as easily be an innocent man who just wants to skip past boring tower building and smelting to get to the part that people actually want to see. It could also be an innocent man knowing that there's recording lag, but not wanting to open a can of worms about a potential splice from uneducated armchair investigators like you. On the topic of editing and acting, I believe that there's an elephant in the room that your hypothesis ignores. The Dream team ran a shorts channel during their YouTube Manhunt era, and no offense to my client, but from my watching of these shorts, it is clear that the Dream team are not fabulous actors. If this boat clutch was a performance based on these videos, it would not have been a particularly convincing one.
Your Honor, the defense's claims that the Dream team are bad actors is absurd. Their entire careers revolve around making a fake persona on the internet and building a cult of personality that revolves entirely around their—
Counsel, stop right there. The purpose of this trial is not to psychoanalyze personas, or push charges of being fake onto the Dream team. This is about establishing the facts of a technical Minecraft stunt. Stick to it, or I will strike your comment from the record. Understood?
Understood.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would hate to see my client imprisoned for having an internet persona.
Prosecution, do you have any relevant additions to the discussion?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Moving on, I would like to call my first witness to the stand, Repeater64. My witness has made several videos on this specific topic, and is a Minecraft mod developer that has delved deep into the Java code looking for answers.
Repeater64, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Repeater, is it true that you operate a YouTube channel that has discussed this stunt by Dream?
That is correct.
And in one of these videos, did you look through the game's source code to determine the distance at which the server would no longer allow a player to craft?
That is true. According to the Minecraft source code, the server will kick a player out of a crafting menu if they are more than 8 blocks away from it.
In our investigation, we dug through the Minecraft source code ourselves, and noted down the values for Minecraft gravity and air resistance. Using these numbers, if you are a nerd, you can solve Dream's downward velocity as a first-order difference equation. The equation derived is similar to the equation on the Minecraft wiki. However, our equation takes into account the fact that Dream is hit off the platform, which the formula on the wiki does not account for. Using our equation, we have graphed the player's position over time in Desmos, and from this chart, it is clear to see that Dream is able to use the crafting GUI for much longer than should be allowed by the game's code. Mr. Repeater, would you agree with our analysis?
I would. In fact, I have achieved similar results myself in calculations.
And is it possible for this range to be changed by some kind of server lag, as many internet comments have speculated?
I covered this extensively in my video on the topic. However, in brief, high ping between the client and server would cause a delay in opening the crafting table, as well as closing it. Even assuming that there was a lag spike while Dream was crafting, which would be the only way for his ping to give him any help, this would have still been an impossible feat. The item in this slot of the crafting grid needs a packet from the server to be received, and since Dream is able to see this, the server should already know that Dream is outside of the crafting table range, making it impossible for him to craft the bow.
So, to summarize for the jury, according to the vanilla 1.16.5 source code, Dream's clutch should have been impossible with his crafting timing, as he would already be well outside the crafting range, which would have led to his death by fall damage. People often attempt to explain this as server lag, as this is how popular figures online explained it without providing any evidence. However, from our testing, there is no observable advantage given by merely having higher ping. Mr. Repeater, as an expert on the Minecraft source code, do you believe that Dream was playing Manhunt on a non-modified server?
According to the Java code, Dream's crafting radius must not reflect that of a vanilla 1.16.5 server.
In your expert opinion, would the server not being vanilla make the clutch easier to perform?
Yes, it would. By my testing, Dream's crafting GUI should have closed after around 13 frames, and in his footage, he has not even started crafting the boat by the 13th frame. With this modification, the clutch becomes much easier to perform.
And, in your expert opinion, is there any reason for the range to be changed by a non-vanilla server?
The 8-block distance to close the crafting GUI is a number that is hard-coded in the game's files. It is not based on player speed, player reach, or any other variable that the developer may change. In my opinion, the only reason to change this number is to facilitate a stunt like this one.
Thank you. The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine the witness?
With pleasure. Mr. Repeater, are you aware that my client has already responded to this claim?
I am.
In the description of his uncut manhunt, my client admits that he plays on a custom server with a custom server jar, and that his mid-air boatcraft may be impossible to replicate on vanilla servers. Furthermore, my client has responded directly to Mr. Repeater's video in a Reddit thread on the r/DreamWasTaken2 subreddit. He admits that crafting distance is increased on the server, and that this is just because the server jar is a fork from the Munchie MC server jar. My client even writes that he told this to a friend as soon as the video came out while trying to replicate the stunt. Mr. Repeater, would you agree that if this was already disclosed in the description of a video, that it would not count as some sort of dishonest advantage to Dream?
Objection. We do not know when this disclaimer was hidden at the bottom of the description in his uncut manhunt. This claim is not present in the original video.
Overruled. Unless you can establish as evidence for that claim, I will not entertain speculation.
Very well, Your Honor. Let's assume the disclaimer was present from day one. How many people saw this disclaimer? It is buried at the bottom of the description on an uncut video on Dream's second channel. Furthermore, your client is not honest in this description. He claims that the forced close distance differs on some servers, which is technically true. However, this leaves out the fact that on most servers, it should be 8 blocks, unless the developer has changed this one specific number in the server's jar files. As Dream later admits, this is a number in the game's source code specific to Dream's Manhunt server that someone at some point must have changed manually. Mr. Repeater, is it true that you claim that there is absolutely no reason to change this value other than to enable a stunt like this?
I did say that.
While the defense would have you believe that this was an act of transparency, in reality, the vast majority of viewers were left believing that this was a purely vanilla stunt, seemingly made easier by fortunate timing with server lag.
Your Honor, my client was transparent. The information was there for anyone that cared to investigate. Should he have slapped a massive disclaimer across the footage saying, "Warning, sometimes the server can increase crafting table distance," even though at the time he may not have even been aware of this technical detail hidden deep within the game's files? Transparency doesn't require that every single person watching immediately knows about it. It only requires the information to be accessible, which it was.
We must be operating under different definitions of the term transparent, but to avoid getting stuck in the weeds, I suggest we move on.
Very well. The witness may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call the next witness to the stand, Recrap 2.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Recrap 2?
I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is it true that you uploaded a YouTube video on April 24th analyzing my client's mid-air boat clutch?
It is.
And in this video, you painstakingly recreated Dream's boat clutch as faithfully as you could?
To the best of my ability at the time, yes.
And even though it took several attempts, you, the average Minecraft player, were able to recreate the timings of his clutch without the use of any Decray Changers macros or video editing?
That's correct. I didn't use anything like that to recreate it.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
The prosecution may cross-examine the witness, if they choose.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Mr. Recrap, Would you say that this is a perfectly faithful recreation?
I did recreate, script, and edit the video the day after Dream's upload. However, I believe I recreated it to the best of my ability.
To the best of your ability. Understood. Now, in reviewing your video, our team found a few key differences between your recreation and Dream's original footage. For example, in your video, you claim that you used Dream's time spent in freefall to calculate the height of the tower as 80 blocks. However, our investigation has yielded different results. Using the uncut footage that Dream uploaded, as well as the Minecraft velocity formula from the source code calculated earlier, we estimated the tower to be 70 blocks tall. You don't show your workings in the video, which is understandable. However, that makes it impossible for us to figure out how you came to the number 80. Furthermore, the relative distance between the towers also appears to be incorrect if you count the blocks present in your original footage. On top of that, you jump off the tower, giving you an initial upwards velocity of plus 0.42 blocks per tick, while being hit gives you plus 0.4. It's a minor difference, but on top of the other inaccuracies, this causes you to stray even further from a replication of Dream's play. We understand that you did not have access to the raw footage at the time, and that you may have been in a hurry to edit the video together while Dream's play was still culturally relevant. However, with all of that in mind, would you agree that this wasn't a 100% accurate recreation of Dream's stunt?
I was not aware of these errors. However, it's not impossible that my recreation was imperfect.
Given all of that, would you agree that your recreation, while impressive, may not be useful in ascertaining the legitimacy of the clutch, but only in its possibility?
I would agree. My video was only intended to test whether an average Minecraft player like me could do it. It wasn't meant to be used as proof either way about Dream's clutch.
I have no further questions.
I would like to briefly interject, Your Honor, for the sake of fairness and clarity. Mr. Rickrap, even with the differences pointed out, you were still able to craft the boat in the same time as my client without the use of any Decree Changer's video editing or any other modifications, correct?
That is correct.
And this would still make the clutch theoretically possible to perform given this correct timing?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is not being forward about the video in question.
Do elaborate, counsel.
Rickrap ended up moving the crafting table's position higher up in order to account for Dream's mythical server lag. However, we have already established that this lag has more complex causes, which makes Rickrap's recreation less faithful. Furthermore, trolling through Mr. Rickrap's video frame by frame alongside Dream's video shows that despite the dozens of attempts Rickrap made, his crafting was still much slower than Dream's singular attempt. Mr. Rickrap, is this true?
Well, yes, but I made a YouTube short in January 2024 rectifying this error.
And are you aware that in the 2 years between your initial replication and your rectification, there were many people on the internet that use your video as a reliable source of information, despite your measurements, your explanation for the lag, and your timing all being completely inaccurate?
Well, to be honest, I haven't given it much thought. I just wanted to make the short to fix what I saw to be a glaring mistake in one of my most popular videos.
We have no further questions.
Very well. The witness may step down.
Your Honor, esteemed members of the jury, while we've discussed strange discrepancies around the clutch and various attempts to recreate the clutch, there is one piece of evidence, one so crucial so as to cause the defense's argument to collapse. We would like to present this still frame from Dream's video, where the crafted boat appears in Dream's hotbar before he has even finished crafting it. We have been unsuccessful in recreating such an effect, and there is very little documented evidence of its recreation by others that have attempted the clutch. Our investigation has come to the conclusion there is no possible explanation for this other than Dream superimposing another image on top of his gameplay using some kind of video editing software.
Objection, Your Honor. There is an example of someone recreating such a phenomenon.
Objection noted. Defense, you may briefly explain your counterexample before giving the prosecution a chance to respond.
Very well, Your Honor. Shortly after my client's play, a YouTuber named Spunker was able to recreate his boat clutch more faithfully and experienced the same visual bug with the boat appearing in his hotbar before being crafted. This video is commonly brought up in Reddit threads regarding the boat clutch, such as this one.
There is one small, glaring issue with the defense's argument. Spunker did not recreate this phenomenon legitimately. We reached out to Spunker to testify on this matter, However, he did not wish to be involved. Despite this, going frame by frame through the video shows that this footage is very obviously doctored. The background footage changes color midway through the craft, and Sponker throws out the oak planks while still in the crafting menu, which is not behavior that is congruent with the vanilla game. In conclusion, the one example ever of this glitch being recreated outside of Dream's Manhunt was so obviously faked that it does not warrant mentioning, and yet it has been brought up to this day on the internet as an explanation for this phenomenon. Furthermore, the original video of Sponker performing this clutch was deleted, leaving the only evidence of his stunt being in another YouTuber's re-uploading of it. While I was in the process of editing this video, sorry for the fourth wall break, Fanst unlisted this video from their channel while appearing in a Dream Manhunt. Even though we were unable to discuss this issue with Sponker, funnily enough, we were able to discuss this matter with Ewoutk, the individual that posted the aforementioned Reddit comment. With your permission, Your Honor, I would like to call Ewoutk to the stand.
Very well. Ewoutk, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ewoutk, what is your relation to Dream?
None. I don't work for him or anything. I'm just a moderator of the r/DreamWasTaken2 subreddit. I've had one short conversation through text with him about something unrelated.
Would you say that your opinions about Manhunt are the same as the opinions that you expressed in these Reddit threads years ago?
Regarding manhunts, my opinion on them has changed over the years. I believe they're likely partly staged. Most likely, I believe that the hunt and run aspect is real, but some tricks or clutches are edited in to make them more exciting, where if Dream fails them, they restart or redo that section. To be clear, I have no proof of this either way. It's based on a hunch and on how I believe many other content creators make their manhunts. It is what I do if my goal were to make the most entertaining Minecraft YouTube video.
We have no further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, but briefly, Your Honor. Ewoutk, do you have any concrete evidence regarding my client's wrongdoings or only a hunch?
I have no proof, only speculation on how I would do it in his position.
We have no further questions for the witness, Your Honor.
Very well, Ewoutk. You are dismissed.
However, we would like to briefly expand upon a point. My client has responded explicitly to this accusation regarding the boat appearing in his hotbar. Without going into specifics, he says that it's just a visual glitch and that it could just be Minecraft being confused like it always is, or that it could be a mod thing though. My client then describes how frame-by-frame analysis can often yield this kind of result, yet people only deeply investigate this due to it coinciding with an extremely difficult clutch of his.
Objection. We have evidence that suggests that this is not a visual glitch.
Objection noted. Prosecution, please clarify your evidence before making any claims.
We have already discussed how there are 0 accurate replications of this visual glitch. We have attempted to recreate this clutch in many different ways, on many server softwares, with varying server pings in various ways, and have been unable to recreate such an effect. However, we have more evidence. On an investigation of the Minecraft 1.16.5 source code, we noticed that both the hotbar at the bottom of the screen and the hotbar in the inventory GUI are rendered by the client, with the server only controlling when the GUI is opened player side and the item that appears in the indicated slot. Once the GUI is open, both the GUI and the hotbar reference the same player inventory object in the code, which makes it impossible for them to display different items according to the vanilla 1.16.5 source code. Dream can put all the disclaimers he likes in the description about how it may not be possible to recreate, or all the mods he uses, but that won't change the fact that this visual glitch has never been replicated and is not possible in the vanilla game. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is the smoking gun of our investigation. Every other argument and every witness have been laid out here only for the sake of completeness.
Your Honor, if I may briefly respond. While the prosecution claims that this is a smoking gun, my client maintains that no intentional manipulation occurred. If the prosecution's claims are true, that this is indeed present in the game's vanilla source code, I may only again point out that my client has already admitted that their server differs from a vanilla server, and that they may have some quality of life modifications on their client that the prosecution would struggle to replicate precisely. This frame-by-frame deep dive only adds doubt to what could feasibly be a highly skilled play.
With all the evidence laid out before you, we hope that this is an open and shut case, with concrete evidence showing that Dream's play, in at least this one instance, was not performed legitimately. When this topic comes up, people will often point to the videos made by RecRapResponker as solid evidence in defense of Dream, trusting that these Minecraft YouTubers have done their due diligence when researching, instead of taking the time to fact-check their work. While my cross-examination may have seemed harsh, I hope that viewers at home understand that it was necessary due to how effectively these videos have spread misinformation on this very topic. Even if manhunts are just for entertainment, the fact that they are faked, and that Dream pretends that they are real, is something that should be brought up. Just watch these clips.
So it's not like, if I had not already been thinking, okay, I need to craft the boat, I need to craft it super quickly, then I'd be dead. I obviously would have, there's no chance I would have gotten it.
Are Dream's Minecraft manhunts scripted? No, they're not.
At the end of the day, this trial isn't really about one Minecraft clutch, it's about trust. Dream's entire reputation is built around the idea that what we are seeing represents skill and intellect, but if these moments are staged, well, it's up to you, the jury, to decide what that says about Dream as one of the largest Minecraft content creators today. While this trial only focuses on the mid-air boatcraft, viewers familiar with Dream's other feats may begin to question the validity of his other actions, but today, we shall only stick to the facts at hand. Even though this is an old case, the statute of limitations never expires for a fictional crime, and with this trial, we hope that we can finally reach the truth of the matter, having collated and debated other people's work on the topic. To this day, people on the internet still argue over the validity of this performance, which is a debate that we hope to settle today with all the evidence laid out before you.
Esteemed members of the jury, we have heard the prosecution's dramatic claims of irrefutable smoking guns, but let us still remember the actual facts. Dream's mid-air crafting has been replicated without any kind of manipulation. The timing of the stunt has been proven by independent Minecraft players to be possible. As jurors, you must weigh the evidence carefully. This is not a trial of whether he could have faked it, the question is whether there exists concrete proof that he did. On these grounds, I believe that reasonable doubt remains. Members of the jury, it is now your turn to weigh in.